Welcome to Go and Glow, an inspiring show for the beautiful and brave with Natasha Cole.
Hi guys, welcome to the Go and Glow Project. I'm your host, Natasha Cole. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for subscribing to this podcast, and I really think you're going to enjoy today's episode. I have two very close friends who I've invited on the show to talk about just an incredible brand that they're building and business. And I just find them so inspiring, and they have just really taken this project by storm in a year, I think. So I'm really excited to have them on. And as you know, the Go and Glow Project is an epicenter for inspiration. It's an opportunity for all of us to get together and highlight how awesome we are and how we can inspire other people. And so I would like for you to welcome two of my closest friends, Gaby Ortega and Liz De La Cruz, to the show. Hi, girls. How are you?
Hello. How are you?
I'm
We're excited to be a part of this.
Yes. So excited to speak to you.
Great, and I'm so excited to have you on the show as well. I just want to tell everyone that you two are CEOs of and founders of Alma Mei, right?
Yes. Yep. AlmaMei.com, correct.
Okay. Can you guys tell us, how did this project get started? But before you do that, just tell us how you girls know each other and where you're located, and, let's just jump right into how this thing just became a fashion phenomenon.
Well, both Liz and I live in Miami. We're both raised here, and we met during college. We're both part of the same sorority. We're part of Lambda Theta Alpha and Sorority Incorporated. So that was kind of mainly how our relationship began. We began to be, not only sorority sisters, but we became really good friends. And Liz approached me about starting a project surrounding fashion. So it was one of those things that just kind of happened organically, and both of us kind of just shared ideas and how we should do this. Obviously, we were very ambitious at first, and we were like, we should, we were hoping to do more of like brick and mortar, but obviously there's so much money into that we decided that it's better if we kept it online. And from there it evolved all the marketing and the branding, and then ideas on how to actually push it forward. It took us about a year to get this kind of like the idea just bubbling, but then a year to make it happen because it's just a lot of steps in between. But we were both very passionate about it, and we were both, we felt like this was something that we should do surrounding not only looking good, but also doing good. So that's when we also incorporated the philanthropy aspect to our business.
Okay, and Liz, what does Alma Mei stand for? What does it represent? What does it mean?
Well, Alma is a Spanish word for soul, and Mei is a Chinese word for beauty. So for us, the concept of the company is that it's a fashion brand that gives back to the community. So it's, we call it the Look Good, Do Good project. So Alma Mei is a literal translation of that, soulful beauty.
Okay. And who thought of the name?
We just sat down and we came up with it together. We just sat down and brainstormed, which is kind of like how everything in the company just comes about. We sit down, have a brainstorming session, and then at the end, we just come to a conclusion, and that's kind of like how it happened. We just sat down, started talking about what the company meant and what we wanted it to be, and then just, a creative way of putting that concisely together, and that was, and create a brand which starts with the name, and that's how that went down.
Awesome. I think I've just always found you guys so inspiring because you aren't a traditional, fashion line. You guys, whatever you do, you want to make sure you give back to the community. And I feel, I've felt extremely honored to be able to support that. Can you tell us a little bit about how you give back to the community, and what are some things that you've been able to do while you've been building Alma Mei?
Well, the way that the business model works is that every quarter we partner up with a nonprofit partner, which we will dedicate 10% of whatever we sell that quarter will go back to that organization. And the reason why we wanted to change it up every quarter rather than keep just one particular cause is because we want to cater to our clients. So our clients may be connected to different causes. Not everybody is, not everybody likes the same things or has the same wants. So we wanted to kind of cater to everyone. So switching up the cause will also make our clients connected to us. And for instance, this quarter we're asking, like, who should we partner up with? Like, we kind of want our clients and our followers on social media also to be involved with whatever it is that they're passionate about. So every quarter we give back. We've worked with since we started, we've worked with numerous organizations with different causes. We've worked with Safe Space Foundation, which helps battered women and their children. We've worked with the MTV Staying Alive Foundation, which raises money for AIDS awareness and AIDS research. We've worked with Sneakers to Succeed, which is Art of Stepping, is another organization that helps raise awareness for childhood obesity. So we did a sneaker drive for low-income families in the New York tri-state area. So we not only just stay here in Florida, we want to spread the love nationwide. So, and then recently we partnered up with the Orphaned Earring, which helps orphans in Latin America. And the way she does it, she's great too. She refurbishes old earrings, and she makes bracelets out of them, and she sells them for $10. And all that, 100% of that goes to the orphanages in Latin America. So we were able to not only sell the bracelets online, but we were also able to give her back the 10% from the quarter, and which goes a long way when you think about Latin America and their needs there. I mean, $1 goes a long way. So we were very excited about that. And she's out of California.
And like Abby said, this quarter we are asking our followers on social media to just tell us what they care about. Tell us some of the causes that are close to them. That's a big part of it for us, connecting with, our customers and just, the people who are following the journey of our company and our brand to connect with us and tell us what they care about, because the conversation, is about giving back as much as it is about, fashion. We have, when we present ourselves, on social media or in the media or whatever, the conversation that we're having with, the people who are following our company and our journey is as much, like I said, it's about both of those things, which I think most of us women can relate to. We have causes that are close to us as much as we love to talk about fashion and, what's going on in that arena.
And another organization that we worked with was Mujer, which was an organization that helps sexually abused, not only just women, but also men. And we were able to take part in a fashion show with survivors, with actual survivors, which I think was kind of it was humbling to us to actually get to meet these survivors and really work hands-on with the nonprofit. And we saw some of them wearing Alma Mei on the runway. It was all the women were wearing Alma Mei. And it kind of stood out to us because this is exactly what we were talking about, because them looking beautiful and feeling beautiful in Alma Mei is what empowers them to not only, keep going, but know that, from being maybe at their lowest points, they can see the future and they can be like, okay, I can do this. It empowers them and motivates them. So it was really cool to finally kind of see what we stand for come to life.
Wow, that is really, really incredible. That's incredible. Okay, so from the business side of it, what is a typical day building and marketing and, dream chasing with Alma Mei? What's a typical day look like for you guys?
Well, right now, we always have to think outside of the box because, believe it or not, there's a lot of competition out there. So basically it's just kind of thinking about our next big thing, because done a lot of events with big brands. We've worked with Sprint. We've worked with MTV. So we really like the partnering up aspect of doing events and meeting people face to face. So what we're working on now is pop-up stores that we want to start creating, because that's really where we generate the most local buzz. And since we're pretty new still in the business and in the market, we really want to build our name within the local community, especially face-to-face. As we're online, it's easier for people to come and meet us and really get the sense of who we are. And not only that, but also try and feel and try on the product. So we're working on our next pop-up, and basically we just kind of go to just a local, maybe bar, local lounge, and we just set up, literally we pop up. And we have all of our clothes there, we have a register, we have fun, drinks, music, like the nice environment that you want, and that's what I'm working on next. And then just basically, trying to solidify ideas of how to come up with cooler campaigns, maybe. So just brainstorming on different things that we need to do for the next couple of weeks. But definitely a pop-up is what we try to do at least once a month. So that's kind of like our marketing plan with that. Then also we're partnering up with a couple events that are happening around fashion. There's always this event called the Fashion Happy Hour. So we're a sponsor this time. This is where they gather different boutiques or different fashion designers, and you can, sell your items there at this local event called the Fashion Happy Hour. But this time around we're sponsoring it. So just different ways to be, again, within the community, having our name out there. And then also we are going to be part of this VJ Media Mixology event, which is an event that is a lifestyle of music and fashion, and going to be sponsored by Cadillac. So we're going to be one of the vendors there as well. So it's a great way to just it's a great way just to have our name out there. People associate Alma Mei with lifestyle and being, involved with the locals, and the local movers and shakers is really what we want to be about.
That's awesome. And I think that Miami is like such a dynamic and incredible place to be able to network like that, because the city is, it's amazing. So So I've known you girls for over 10 or 15 years, like forever, and I know that both of you have, just beautiful spirits and, extremely diverse and dynamic personalities. How do you carry that over into the business in terms of building relationships? Okay, because you've said that you have partnered with all these awesome brands, and there are so many clothing lines who wish they had the opportunity to, partner with Sprint and do different things. I even saw you guys at the Billboard. What was that, the Billboard Awards in Miami or something?
Yeah, that was the Latin Billboards, yeah.
Okay. So there's so many, clothing companies who don't have opportunities to do that. And I know for me, with building relationships, I always say that, people are not buying your product. They are buying you. And, it's really important for you to build relationships. So just talk to us a little bit about, how important that has been in your business, and, maybe some things that you do to foster relationships with people, and how it's brought success to your business.
I feel like a lot of what's happened in the company, it's been, I like to say it's been God almost, guiding our steps, the steps that we've made in the company, because one thing will lead to another. We did some media with NBCMiami.com, and the founder of the Orphaned Earring found us through there. She connected with us. She works, along with Sprint. When we decided to partner up for that quarter, when she approached us after reading the article that went on NBC.com, she had been featured as well for the Orphan Earring. She reached out to us. She's like, I love what you girls do. She found, she found that it would, it could be a beneficial relationship for both of us in that we can help her with the orphan earring and she could get her bracelets out to a bigger market, you know. So it just kind of was like effortless. She overlooked the sprint event, and it just so happened that came through having networking and having a relationship with her. So, you know, it's kind of like meeting her was, I feel, a blessing, but a lot of it has been that way. It's a lot about, you know, who you, getting the name of the brand out there, and then while you're doing that, networking, collaborating with the people that are around you, building those relationships, and then, you know, growing from them, growing together. It's a lot about surrounding yourself with people who are doing things that are positive and finding a way to collaborate. And for us, that's been a really big part of building the brand. But like I said, a lot of it has been, I feel, you know, a divine hand, like, guiding it, because we'll make a decision, we'll do something, we'll go to an event, we'll meet someone there, you know, as we're networking or whatever, that will present another opportunity, or have, you know, we have an opportunity to help them, or vice versa, and we're just open. We're always open to what's the next thing, and it kind of just, it happens. Of course, a lot of work and planning go behind it, but for me, nothing that has happened yet has been forced. You know, everything has kind of gone, as long as you're constantly growing, networking, working, you know, the opportunities pop up, and we take advantage of whatever opportunity comes, we jump on it, and it'll grow, and then after, we'll either meet someone there or whatever, and we'll start the next thing, you know, so that's the experience that I've had when it comes to that with the company.
Wonderful. And Gabby?
It helps to the fact that I have this network behind me, which literally is a network. My day job is in entertainment, so I do have a lot, and I feel like fashion and music and entertainment, they kind of go hand in hand. So it does help out that our network is kind of big in that sense, that we can call someone and be like, hey, you want to collaborate? Or they'll actually call me or call Liz and be like, hey, I think this would be perfect for Alma Mei. And it's funny enough because even Liz has said that she's gotten approached by people that are like, oh my God, you're behind Alma Mei, which means that our brand is already it has some power behind it, because people can actually name it, and there's some brand recognition there. And people that are like, oh my God, you should be proud of being behind that, because it's really awesome. And that brings us much more joy, because we're like, okay, we're doing something right. So basically, it's just building relationships, fostering them, and also just being standing for what, not only saying that you're doing good and looking good, you really have to do that. You really have to live that. Be authentic in whatever it is that you're doing. And I think that not only brings you more people that want to collaborate with you because they're going to know your stand-up company, but it also empowers you as a person. I feel like you're going to attract whatever it is that you are. And if you say you're doing good, and if you say that 10% every quarter goes to that organization, guess what? Every dime needs to go, 10% of everything needs to go to that organization. So just authenticity and just, fostering those relationships and making sure that people have a great experience with your brand whenever it is that they come in contact with it.
Absolutely. And I think knowing you girls so personally, and knowing that, you really stand for these causes, even if you didn't have this company. I know that the both of you, you just have so much integrity in what you do every day, and you're really passionate about, these types of charities and causes, again, if you didn't even have this company. So I think that it just is so natural for you girls to have gone, into this particular business, and I believe that that's why it's soaring and it's doing so well, because, you are living in your truth, and you are who you say you are. And so your company lives in its truth, and it is who it says it is. And you have integrity in that. So, again, I'm just really proud of the both of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You are so welcome. So if you were 23 years old, if you were 23 years old, I won't tell them how old you really are, but if you were 23 years old.
I was about to say, what do you mean if I was 23?
Okay, so if you were 23, this was last year for you girls, and I want to hear from the both of you, what would you tell the 23-year-old girl who is kind of fresh out of college and she's trying to figure out what she wants to do, and, you know, maybe her parents are pushing her to go in one direction, but she has a passion for something else, you know, or maybe she doesn't have enough confidence or self-esteem to, you know, to really pursue what she really, really loves. If both of you could just kind of touch on how important it is to go after your dreams and, you know, to surround yourself with positive people, like what would you tell, you know, either your 23-year-old self or a 23-year-old girl? And we can start with Liz.
Well, I mean, as you asked that question, the thing that rings the most true to me is something that I actually, you know, heard my mom telling me, you know, all through when I was in college and after, you know, after I graduated, when I was deciding, you know, what ultimately I wanted to do, even after I had my degree, I was still trying to figure out what exactly do I want to do, you know, as far as with my career, the rest of my life. You know, what's the legacy that I want to leave behind? So she would always tell me, 5 years from now, do you want to look back and say, okay, you know, I tried to do that and I failed and now I'm doing something else? Or you could be looking 5 years back and saying, oh my God, you know, you've accomplished it. These 5 years are going to go by regardless. So dream big and follow that dream, because you're going to spend time doing it. Eventually you're going to get to the end. You know, you're going to get to the end goal. All you have to do is start. And once you start and times go by, that's something that was always going to happen. And then you always have the big possibility where you look back and you're like, wow, 5 years passed and I didn't do it. And I think every time I thought about the words that my mom told me, I would look at that latter scenario and decide, like, I really don't want that to happen to me. I want to look 5 years from now and say, at least I tried and then I failed. But I would never want to go back and look and say, oh my gosh, I didn't do it, you know? So I think my mom's words are what constantly keeps me thinking, like, whatever it is that's going on, and if I have to choose to retreat or take a leap, I always take a leap because I remember those words that she told me. So I would tell my 23-year-old self, like, listen to your mom, you know?
Yes, that's true. It's true. Well, I think actually my 20-year-old self, I would tell her, it's okay to try, and it's okay if you fail. Like, it's you know what I mean? I feel like we as humans, either we're going to go into something fearful or we're going to go into it, you know, based off, like, being confident and love. So I think as a 23-year-old, it's okay to try something and for it not to work. It's okay to explore and find out, okay, I don't like that, but I like this. Because at times I feel like when I was 23, I was so concerned about not knowing where I was going that I was just like, oh my God, what do I do? Like, I felt like I had to have everything already figured out. And no, you don't. You need to relax. You need to try different things, because I feel that when you try different things or different areas in your life that you might want to explore, or different passions that you feel your heart is tugging at you about, like, try it, you know, because that's the only way that it can get you to that next step. So don't be afraid to take chances. Do it with passion. Don't be afraid at all, because really fear is man-made. Like, it doesn't exist. So as long as you have love and passion for something, you'll be fine. And don't worry about having everything figured out, because you won't have it. I mean, even years later, it's okay to still you're still evolving as a human being as you go. So just relax a little bit more, I would have told myself.
Okay. And then what about the naysayers? You know, like, how have you girls managed to, well, of course you believe in yourself, but how have you managed to keep people around you who aren't naysayers? Like, how important is that in your business and to that 23-year-old self?
Not to really focus so much on what others think of you. You know, like, I feel like sometimes we live up to, like, trying to satisfy others, when in reality you need to kind of just really focus in and really satisfy yourself, because the happier you are, with yourself is what you're going to attract in your life. So if you're going to be worried about, oh, this person doesn't like it, or because a lot of the times we also have bright ideas, but we don't want to do them because we're like, oh my God, but what if people are going to think that I think I'm all that, or that people don't like talking about themselves, you know, or like being happy about what they have, because sometimes you feel like, oh my God, I'm going to be showing off, or they're going to think I'm this and this and that. No, maybe the opposite. Maybe you're going to create inspiration in others. You know, like, oh my God, she did it, and she's doing something that came out of nowhere, and she thought about it, and she's executing it. The right person with the right set of mind will get inspired. The hater or the naysayer will be like, oh, she thinks she's all that. But then guess what? You're just reading off, like, the people that you need to have in your life. Whether or not, who cares? You're going to do what you want to do. But I think you said it too, Tasha, in one of your, you wrote something that I was like, oh my God, that's so right. That it was something regarding that you kind of like stay quiet about your dreams or things like that because you don't want people to think, like, I think you quoted Oprah or Maya Angelou or something.
That's right. Yeah, it was Oprah.
So I think the quote that you said that best kind of explains what I'm trying to say is, I was once afraid of people saying, who does she think she is? Now I have the courage to stand and say, this is who I am. So how powerful is that? To not be afraid of what people think and to stand in who you are and be proud of it.
Absolutely.
I was absolutely tell my 23-year-old self to just be confident who you are, be confident in your dreams, and stick to your passion and don't listen to, you know, the noise.
I think that's so important to say, and I posted that on the Go and Glow Project's Facebook page and in the Instagram page because that's part of why I started the Go and Glow Project. I feel like I am in contact with so many amazing people, and, you know, I just want to honor them, and I want to thank them for everything that they're doing because I do have an understanding that you are shining your light. You are not, by you being awesome, you are not dimming you're not dimming our lights. You're actually shining your light so that we can kind of, you know, hold our candles to you and sort of light our candles to your flame. And so that's what I want people to, you know, just be, you know, remarkable and impeccable with their word and their talent and their skills and be really good at their craft because people, you know, who are really interested in who are really interested in being great in whatever it is that they want to do, you know, they can sort of like hitch their wagon to your star. You know what I mean? They can be inspired by you. And I think so many people are afraid to say, look how great I am, or look what I did. And not in, of course you don't say it, you know, in an arrogant way, but, you know, by you doing the amazing things that you're doing and giving back to the community, I mean, you can't help but to be great if that is what your greatness is, you know? So
right.
I'm glad that you brought that up, and I'm glad that you said that because it's so important for particularly women. You know what I mean? Like, this is so important for women to do because I think sometimes we, you know, we're not comfortable saying what we do and, you know, what our purpose is. And there are a lot of women who are, of course. But, yeah, that's why I started this project. Okay, so, you know, I know you girls work so well with, you know, all kinds of communities and charities and for different causes, and particularly for women and for children. How important has this been for the Latina community? And you know, how have you impacted them? And, you know, what are some responses that you guys have gotten from, you know, even your Latina sorority sisters and your very close friends in the community in Miami?
Well, we have been featured in El Nuevo Herald, which is the Spanish Miami Herald here in Miami. We have also been featured on CNN en Español. So the Latin media has really embraced us in our community, you know, in our, like, locally here in Miami and in South Florida. And we're very, very appreciative to have that, you know, to have the support of our family, our friends, our community. You know, we working with Mujer, which is organization which, like Gaby said earlier, gives, it's like a one-stop shop for victims and survivors of domestic violence and sexual abuse, and it is a big migrant community there, Mexican-American and Mexican immigrant migrant community. So a lot of the people who go to Mujer are people in that area who need support. They provide legal services, they provide, immediate aid, physical aid, as well as counseling. And then they also help put you in a shelter if need be of, like I said, victims of domestic and sexual abuse. But it's a provider that's local help, free help for immigrants and Hispanics in our community. So, being affiliated with them and helping them and donating 10% of our proceeds to our quarter was a big deal because we felt like we were giving back to the women in our community, which in turn, like I said, has really embraced us in, and as far as media is concerned, we've gotten so much love for being Latinas that are, kind of not paving a way, but, telling other Latinas it's okay to be an entrepreneur. Yes, you can be your own boss. Yes, you can dream to start a company, being a Latina, being, whether it's an immigrant or being second generation Latina like Gaby and I are. So actually we're first generation Latina. We both came here very young. But yes, telling a Latina who's an immigrant but has, made America your home and saying, yes, you can be a business owner and you can thrive here, so that is a big deal for us, being a voice in our community, and being a young voice at that, it's telling young Latinas, like, there are ways to be resourceful and to be crafty and come up with a way to be able to, be an entrepreneur and to, participate in capitalism and achieving the American dream. It's been a give and take with our community. We've definitely given, but we've been able to benefit from the support that they've lent us.
Okay, do you girls have any influencers, maybe in this business or, who are in the Latina community or not, it's fine, but anyone who you girls look to as maybe a personal mentor or, someone who is in the industry who has done this and kind of paved the way for you?
Her name is Sophia Moroso. She is the CEO and founder of Nasty Gal, which, aesthetically we just think is, it's very clean, very beautiful, and her branding is impeccable. The way that she has been able to reach millennials, and she's very. We love the fact that she's very consistent with her style, which is totally different from us, and we're a totally different entity, and we stand for something totally beautiful. But the way that she's been able to take e-commerce, and she has been able to just take over. I mean, literally, and she's been able to do that by being herself, being committed to who she is and what the brand stands for, and we want to be able to do something like that, but staying true to who we are and committing ourselves to what our company stands for. And as women, she's fearless, she's a risk taker, and we would like to think that we are too, and that just being consistent is I think the biggest thing, consistency in what we're doing and committing to who we are and following through. But if you're going to go ahead and make a leap like being an entrepreneur, you might as well be true to yourself 100% of the way. You're already taking a leap. You might as well stay true to who you are, So I think that's a big deal for us, making it.
That she has been an inspiration as far as the fact that, she started small and now is a millionaire.
Yeah.
She started, I believe, selling on eBay and
right.
moving pieces, like vintage pieces on eBay. And now she is the CEO of a multimillionaire company. And it's crazy to us because it started just off of an idea, and we saw it as attainable because her story is like an American story, and is she might not be Latina, but we're all Americans. So to us, it became like, man, if she really could do it, we can do it as well. So she was definitely an inspiration. She definitely also gave us not only the push about, like, or the consistency we want in our brand, because branding is really important to us. Like, if something doesn't really mesh well with the brand, we kind of think about it twice, you know, because we know the importance of impact and the importance of retaining those customers and having our brand always give you that experience that you kind of, you know, you are used to. So her branding is so impeccable that we were like, oh my God, we have to make sure that our small company that we just started a year ago can compete with a brand that has been, you know, kind of running for a long time. We want to be at that level already. We don't want to be like, oh, no, we need to compare ourselves to the smaller ones. No, we really reach out for the branding to be synonymous or very close to with the big multi-millionaire companies, because we have to think that way. And there was a time when Liz even told me, like, remember, we're competing with the multi-millionaire companies. We have multi-millionaire dreams, you know, like, so we can't just work halfway, you know. We have to really compete in a marketplace that maybe we're not in just yet, because obviously we're just starting, but we aspire to be there.
The standard is the same for us. You know, of course, it's relevant to our resources, you know, as opposed to companies that have unlimited resources. But as far as, you know, what our standard of quality is within those resources, is the best that it can be. Like, we're not trying to think of ourselves as like, yes, you know, of course we are a startup, and we're very realistic with our short-term goals as well as we are with our, you know, long-term goals. But as far as the standard, you know, we try to push the envelope as much as we can with the standard that we set for ourselves. Another important thing is that we know who Alma Mei is. You know, that's, you know, something I really want to kind of put out there is, let's say, since we're talking about Sophia Moroso and her brands, let's just put them as an example. Nasty Gal is who I personally think the reason she's been so successful is because she has a clear idea of who this girl is, you know, who she is, what she stands for, what she looks like, what she likes, what music she likes. You know, she knows exactly who Nasty Gal is, and she's been consistent with that. And that girl, what started as a cult following by who that girl is, you know, eventually, you know, became a monster. For us, we're very, very clear in who Alma Mei is, who she is, who that girl is, you know, how complex that girl is, what that girl likes, you know, the type of food she likes. If you follow our Instagram, you'll see what, you know, you have a clear idea when you when you start following our journey on who we are and what we stand for, and we don't deviate from that. You know, we're very clear as to who we are and who Alma Mei is, because when you wear Alma Mei, you are Alma Mei. That's the point, you know. So when you start following our journey, when you you come across our brand, you know, and you become a supporter, I should say, of our brand, you are that girl, because that girl is someone who thinks that, who believes that fashion is fun, and, you know, you embrace fashion and you embrace looking good on the outside, because you realize how important that is to be successful in anything that you do. You know, to look presentable and to look good is important. But you also know and you live by the fact that doing good is so much more important than that. But hey, there's a place where you could do both things. But, you know, doing good and you know, just being a socially conscious person it's really important. And we believe that to be a socially conscious consumer is just, you know, it's why not? You know what I mean? So Alma Mei is the girl who is a socially conscious consumer. You can get the same things, you know, in Alma Mei, we like to think that you would in any other young contemporary brand, but there's a given bonus to that. And the Alma Mei girl, that component has to be important to her, because why wouldn't you go to any other boutique out there? Alma Mei is for the girl who, you know, to her, it's important. That component that we add to it is an important component.
And I just wanted to say that, yes, your brand is, I mean, it really, truly looks like a multi-million-dollar brand. Your website is, I love your website.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so clean, and it's just so, you know, I just love it, and it's responsive. So if I want to order something on my cell phone or my iPad, I can do that. I like the fact that on your website you have a blog, and so people can go and like read about you two personally, and they can also read about, you know, what you guys are doing in the community. And I think, again, that's so important, because when you go to so many other e-boutiques or, you know, clothing stores online, you know, all they're trying to do is just sell you something and, you know, upsell you and, you know, don't forget your accessories. But for you guys, when you go to your website, I think that they really do feel, you know, like they are a beautiful soul. And I think that, you know, they really feel like they're contributing to something bigger and higher than, you know, this material thing. So, yeah.
Exactly.
I can really
We're so happy that you get that, and especially since you are one of our clients. I am very happy that you do feel the love and you do feel what we stand for, because you are Alma Mei for sure. Because like you said, you know us for 15 years. I know you, and I know you have a soul and a heart like no other, and you're such a hard worker. And you are the Alma Mei girl. You're the girl that looks fabulous, will rock a 6-inch heel like no other, but will want to get her hands dirty in helping out the community or making a difference or being there for your family. You're such a great example of who Alma Mei is.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. And I know I put that on my Instagram, that, you know, it's not only do you guys do well in the community and you give back, but then, like, your clothes are, like, really, really cute, because I recently took an international trip, and I had, like, a couple pieces of Alma Mei clothes and some earrings, and, you know, I just felt really beautiful. So I was happy to, like, take a part. Yeah. So I was happy to take a part of you guys with me there. So where do you guys see Alma Mei in 5 years? If you could have, you know, if you could dream the biggest dream for this company, what's the long-term goal? Where do you see it in, you know, 5 years, 10 years? Like, you know, where do you want to take Alma Mei?
Well, for me, I would love to have, in the next 5 years, to build a brand, to at least have one brick and mortar in a major market, whether it be Miami, LA, New York. At least just have one store front that we can call home and have people come in and experience the brand themselves. And also build it more, like we've always talked about building it from the philanthropy perspective as well, which, you know, maybe creating Alma Mei ambassadors in different places where they can lead volunteer teams, or you know, just having people that are more involved nationwide with the brand. So that's kind of like our long-term goal. Obviously, it's going to take capital and continuing to like flourish with the brand, but I do see like an Alma Mei store. Like I can picture it. I can see people going in, shopping, and then learning about the cause for that quarter there, or creating events where we can have fundraisers at that brick and mortar and create more buzz and more support for our philanthropic partners. So I can envision it, and I would love to do this full time, but again, that's something that we're working towards for the long term, but that's one of my dreams.
Well, for me, in 5 years, I definitely see us having our own foundation. You know, giving back is definitely, you know, at the forefront for us. And, you know, I keep saying giving back, but, you know, what I mean is making an impact. You know, to make an impact in our community and to make an impact, you know, wherever we can, wherever help is needed, is always at the forefront for us. So one of the things that Gaby and I have definitely talked about is, you know, for me, I'm a firm believer in God. So to me, whatever God allows us to do with this company 5 years from now, you know, my prayer is that it allows us to establish a foundation for a cause that we would be committed to, you know, year-round, in addition to the commitments that we make on a quarterly basis. So 5 years from now, you know, I see us kind of like coming up with something somewhere that we want to commit to ourselves year-round, giving back to it year-round and being able to make that type of impact year-round with a foundation, as like I said, as well as with our quarterly commitments. That's where I see, amongst many other places where I see the company, that's a big place where I see us going in the next 5 years.
Okay, fantastic. That's so awesome. You guys have, a very clear vision, and the vision is similar, so that really helps. So you guys live, just tremendously busy lives, and in different ways. I know that, Liz, you are married and you have a toddler, and then you have a brand new baby, so congratulations to you for that.
Thank you.
How do you find time to juggle all of these projects and events and a marriage and a family, and everything else that you have going on in your life? What do you do to serve yourself? When do you just, get a moment to, just take care of Liz?
That is a good question, because I still don't know the answer. I think that a big part of having this conversation with you and being open and honest about what it means to be an entrepreneur is to be honest about the struggle that, a woman with a family is going to have to endure, when going through this. I mean, I don't know if endure is too much of a strong word, because, there's no suffering involved. But, there is definitely sacrifice involved. So for me, I'll be, like I said in the beginning of it, I'm trying to figure it out. I told Gaby the other day, my life is a juggling act. I have all these balls up in the air, and, I try my best, which is all I can do, to be able, to do the best that I can in all of them, in order to keep them all going, because they're all parts of me that cannot stop, So, yes, I have a beautiful 4-month-old baby. His name is Mark Kenneth, and I have a 3-year-old going on 4, Matthew. I have a husband who, thank God for him, because he is my biggest fan, my biggest support system. He is just, he's my husband for a reason. He's God sent to me. So, he's my partner. So I think that that's a big part of how I'm able to do it. It's definitely my husband. My mom is also a big, support system for me. So, and I also have great friends. I have really great girlfriends that just give me, even if I can sneak in a 15, 20-minute phone conversation on my drive, because I also have a full-time job. So if on my ride home from work, I usually call a friend. And that's the that's the time that I give myself to be able to talk to a girlfriend. It is from 6 to 7, p.m. when I'm driving home. I give that to myself every day, to call a friend and just talk. Alone time with God is important for me, and I do that in the morning when I drive to work. And then family, husband, and Alma Mei consumes, all the rest of my other time. So, and then there's gym time. It's just, girl, it's a lot. So I just do my best, and I tell myself on a daily basis, all you can do is your best today. That's how I wake up today. Like, every day, I wake up every day thinking, do your best, and I do it. When I do everything that I do it wanting to please God, So that's also a big way for me to be able to accomplish everything that I can do, which is like, okay, God, everything that I'm doing today is to please you. So that makes me go full force 150. So everything that I do, it's a lot.
Absolutely. I understand. It doesn't get easier. You really
no, it doesn't.
You really have to have a strong support system to pull it all off. But more importantly, you have to make sure you take care of yourself. And Gaby, you as well. You were so busy. You're working in the entertainment industry. You have to go to so many events. You're traveling. You're exercising. You're really big into your family as well. How does one juggle and manage all those things and still find time to serve herself and to take care of herself?
Yes, I am busy with, my job, with Alma Mei, with family. I find ways to honestly, I love alone time. Like, it's weird to me. I'm not in a relationship. I'm not married or don't have kids. But I do have 7 nieces and nephews that I love and adore. But it feels great that I hang out with them, but it also feels great that I can go home and be by myself. So I really do serve myself. I think I have the privilege to have more time to myself than most. So, whether I go and, like Liz says, does her nails, or I'll have lunch with a friend, or I go to the beach. I do like my alone time. It's a little bit, I feel like I like it too much, which is a little bit scary because I do eventually have to be in a relationship. But I really enjoy my alone time, and I think the best thing also is finding ways to connect with God, making that time to listen to inspirational podcasts, or like such as this one, or listening to a good sermon that's going to inspire me and lead me to the next decision that I may have to make, or reading an inspirational book of some sort. I'm all about inspiring and motivation, because it's really easy to get unmotivated and not inspired, because there's so many things out in the world that are always going to attack you, right? So I feel like the way to kind of strengthen yourself and to prepare yourself for let's say battle, but life, is just really being in positive, with positive people, reading positive things. So I like my alone time. I like to just grab a good book, read about something that I hadn't read before, or just inspire me, or just let me know that I'm in the right direction. I love going to the beach. I love just being around friends and my family. So alone time is very important. And if I can do a spa every day, I would, but I can't.
Okay, good. Good, okay. So what do you girls, as we wrap up, what do you girls know for sure? What do you, and I know that we're always in a constant state of, enlightenment, and we're searching for things, and sometimes we're not certain, with what we're doing or what we're thinking. But what is the one thing that you know for sure about yourself or about life from experience?
The one thing that I know for sure is that I am currently living in God's plan for my life. That I know for sure. I spend a lot of time praying for that. And I think it took me a while to understand that I was there already, where I am where I'm supposed to be. And I feel that I find a lot of, whether a storm comes, whether it's hard, because it has been. There's been times where I'm like, my God, when am I going to be able to see the silver lining? But then I think that what keeps me motivated and what gets me through it is knowing that was a part of it. I feel like I am, whether good or bad, whenever it's good times or bad times, and I stay, I pray to God to keep me focused on, accomplishing my goal, because at the moment I really truly know that I am living in God's plan for me. I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now at this point in my life, and I am happy being there, going back to your question, knowing for sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I am where I'm supposed to be. So whether or not, difficult times come, that was supposed to be a part of it. I was supposed to learn a lesson. What did I take from it? There's a lot of self-analyzing that goes on within me at this point in my life. I just turned 30, 2 weeks ago. So at this point in my life, I keep reflecting. So, okay, what am I supposed to be getting from this? Because I understand that all of this are going to be things that I take from, 5 and 10 years later. And these are supposed to be lessons learned, because, again, I know that I am where I'm supposed to be. So.
Perfect. And for you, Gaby?
What I know for sure is that regarding the Alma Mei project and Alma Mei, being born about 2 years ago, the idea, 1 year with the consumer, but 2 years ago we started this idea. The one thing I do know for sure is that it's something that is not going to go anywhere, that we're going to fight it till the very end, no matter how good or how bad, because there are obviously, as an entrepreneur, you'll see that there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days, there's going to be days that you're not motivated, there's going to be days that you are so motivated. So what I know for sure is that we're in it to win it. We're in it for the long haul. And I'm going to be Alma Mei till the very last day. So what I know for sure is that I'm going to be here no matter what for my company.
Wow. And that's who I know you to be, Gaby, and you as well, Liz. You girls are extremely passionate and dedicated in your lives. You were like this before, you started Alma Mei, and so I know and I understand the mission and how important it is for you to carry that out in your company. You are who your company is, and so I'm just really excited to see where it goes, and I'm really excited to support it. And I've sent emails and the website link to people to go and buy it, and as much as I can, I'll support it. And for the listeners, okay, not just in Miami, but everywhere, how can they support you? Can you guys give us a website? Can you give us also your social media? How can the people ride on this journey with you and contribute and just be a part of your mission?
Yeah, well, you can definitely visit our website. It's almamei.com, ALMAMEI.com. So almamei.com. And you can find all of our social media there as well, but it's basically one handle for everything. It's @official Alma Mei. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter. We also have a Tumblr page, which our blog is linked to on our website as well. And we are just ready to, be connected to everyone. If you have any ideas or do you know of any philanthropies that are in need of extra support or extra platform for them, you can always contact us as well. We love working with smaller nonprofits that need more of like a hands-on. So anything is welcomed. And, we are also at info@almamei.com if you want to email us with any questions.
Awesome. Well, I just want to thank you girls so much for just being generous with your time. And, again, I know you live extremely busy lives and every moment counts. And, I really just appreciate you taking time to come on and, share your story and, share what's important to you. And to just, I want to thank you for also giving back to the community. For my listeners, thank you again so much for subscribing to this podcast and for listening. If you haven't been to my blog, check it out at goandglowproject.com. Also, I have Go and Glow TV, and so you can go to YouTube, and that's youtube.com/goandglowproject. I also have those videos housed on my blog. So, if you're a YouTuber, I'm there. Go on there, share those videos with people, and, if you're a blogger and you love reading articles and stories, go onto my blog, share whatever share whatever inspires you. I hope that you are full of love and light in your lives, and I hope that you are just, shining your light and going and glowing and doing that thing that you really, really were meant to do. Until the next time we talk, go and glow.